Hi and welcome to Scott's Inverts. I'm Scott. You're going to see an invert in just 1 second, and no, the thumbnail was not clickbait. This insect actually fires an acid from its behind. Let me introduce you to the giant Vinegaroon and her setup. Up on screen is my Mastigoproctus giganteus, the giant whip scorpion, the giant Vinegaroon, and also called Grampus. Now these guys actually come from southern United States and they reach all the way into Mexico, experiencing temperatures between 22 to 34 degrees. Now they have 3 pairs of legs, and the antennae at the front are mainly used to feel around, check out the environment and find vibrations that the prey items are actually making. Now as for prey items, we're looking at small insects such as cockroaches, crickets, there's tiny millipedes and other arachnids. They've also been recorded feeding on very small frogs. So in the home, we want to be feeding these primarily on cockroaches once a week. And she'll use those large pedipalps to hold the prey, while the mouth parts tear up and bite into the prey. Now, Mastigoproctus giganteus typically lives to around 4 to 8 years, and the female reproduces only once in her lifetime, producing around 40 offspring, which she then protects and feeds in their early development stages. Males fight each other at night in fierce battles for the privilege of mating with a female, which also happens at night time. Now let's have a look at it firing the vinegar from out of that tail. So they spray a substance composed of around 85% acetic acid in order to defend themselves. And the acetic acid is the main component of vinegar. And that's why this when it sprays, absolutely reeks of vinegar, and hence they get the common name Vinegaroon. They get the other common name whip scorpion because of the long thin tail at the back of this species. Now this species also have 8 eyes, 2 at the front and 3 down each side, but it is also worth noting that there are exceptionally weak eyes, and what they do to navigate is to use those front feelers, as this one's doing up on screen currently. Now let's go set up this beautiful whip scorpion's home. So we're going to start the build off with the enclosure. Around 5 inches tall, 8 inches long, 5 litre, easy storage box. I've already got the soldering iron out and made a load of holes across the sides and the top as well, just to create a little bit of airflow, as you can see. And the Vinegaroon there is just off to the left. Now as for substrate, I am going for a potting soil mix. Now as you can see, doesn't matter what brand you use as long as it's pesticide free, but I find the planting and potting mixes are ones that hold the moisture which we need for this species. Next up on the list is moss, and you guys know I absolutely love moss. We went out and found this a few hours ago, and it's kind of semi-damp, so it's not overly damp, so it's absolutely perfect. We also want some bits of cork bark and some dry leaves as well as. And we also need the all-important water dish. We don't need a really tiny one. That one there is perfect. Nice and shallow, so if the tailless whip scorpion goes in, it can easily climb itself out. Now we're going to get the substrate in here. We want to go at least 3/4 of the way up that container with substrate, because these guys will burrow. So we get it in there, and just look, that is only very slightly damp, which for this species is absolutely perfect. And what I'm going to do is put around 1/2 inch of substrate in and just tap it very gently down to firm it up slightly, and then go in with another inch and so on and so forth until we're just below those air holes, and we're in perfect position then to finish off the build with the cork bark and the moss and the water dish. So as you can see, I carried on filling it up right to the base of those air holes, just to give it that little bit of airflow to go across the top of the soil. We can add springtails if we want into this build as well, and that's what I mean by just gently tapping it down. Now this piece of cork bark here, just going in at the angle to create a roof to a burrow. And what I want to do with this side is dig it out quite deep and make that opening quite wide. And there's a good reason I do that. It's because I'll put another piece in a minute with a small opening, and then it gets to choose between the two, whichever one it feels comfortable with. A few more taps round, and I do like to put a little bit of substrate across the top of the burrows as well, just to make it feel a little bit more naturalistic for our Vinegaroon. And here is that second piece of cork bark going in, a smaller hole, more depth to that hole and going downwards, so it's got its choice between the two burrows, and you never know, it might end up using both and going from one to the other. The water dish, I'm going to put that in now because I kind of want to position it where I feel it's going to look nice. And here is our moss. Moss will take on 8 times its own weight in moisture, so for any humidity dependent species, we want to be using moss. Moss from out the wild is perfectly fine. Just get it as far away from civilization, people, that you possibly can, and you're less likely to carry any pollutants back into the collection then. We're just literally going to cover it across now like a blanket across the top of that soil, and again that'll help to hold humidity deep down in that substrate as well as just underneath it as well. A little bit of grass in with the moss on that's completely fine. Don't worry about that. That'll probably need trimming in a couple of weeks. Got some scissors, not a problem. And on this front area here, I was going to put some dry leaves across it, but I'm going to leave it empty in the hope that that's where the prey I'll drop prey, and then the Vinegaroon will hopefully hunt it down across the soil at the front. Just going in now with some finishing touches, just filling up the little tiny gaps where there isn't any moss. The Vinegaroon there is going for a little walk. It can't wait to get in there. Let's top up the water dish and get it back into the enclosure. I'm actually going to push it down into the soil as well. I just feel like a raised water bowl doesn't feel naturalistic to me. I like them to be a little bit sunk. And for me now, that is almost done. We're going to go in with some fresh water across the moss. We're going to heavily dampen it, let's say, the moss, just to help it to grow. We're going to keep that substrate a little bit damp, but not overly wet. So down this side here where I'm doing it now, I'm going to keep that damp permanently. So again, the Vinegaroon has got a couple of different soil humidities to choose from. Just adding a little bit of water to the front. Now once a week, we just want to add water to the water dish and to that left hand side, allowing that water to go through the substrate and give our Vinegaroon the choice of damp to drier across the whole of the enclosure as well. And all the time we've been setting up this enclosure, our Vinegaroon has been moving around in there like crazy. We got this one from the Spider Shop for £25 at a show. If you do go to the Spider Shop, remember to use the code, all in capital letters, Scott, followed by the number 5 for a little bit of a discount over it there if you're in the UK. But look, absolutely beautiful. And here is our Vinegaroon. Now remember, these are a little bit more like scorpions, so they're a bit tougher than our spiders, so we can go in with the back of the tongues and just slowly and very gently give it gentle encouragement to come out. And at that point there, it sprayed me, so now my whole arm stinks like vinegar. And again, highlighting the importance of wearing some glasses to protect your eyes from this species as well. But yeah, that little tail there, see it sticking up, it literally just turns around. Don't ask me how they do it, but they manage to aim for you and get you every single time. In it goes, ever so gently. Whoop, there we go. And it is in. And just look, it is loving that enclosure already. My God, beautiful.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares, standing right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test, I better not text or I'll come up.
Boom! That was the Giant Vinegaroon. Absolutely nailed. I do like to keep things as simple as possible on this channel. It's how I learn, and I feel hopefully by doing that we can pass a lot of information on to others very quickly. And if we overcomplicate things, we overthink it, and maybe we don't end up getting those specialist inverts that we have our heart set on. This Sunday is the Coventry Invert Show. It's starting at 11, it finishes at 4. It's my hometown, so please tell me you guys are coming along. It's going to be a fantastic day. I, of course, will be filming. I will do a film for the Monday evening on all about the actual show itself, as well as doing the official Inverts channels video for those guys as well. Anyway, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button, and as always, we shall see you again on the next one.